Okay, this is a SketchUp free tutorial. If you're here, you're trying to model and learn how to use SketchUp free. This is not the SketchUp Pro version, which is a little bit more costly, but worth every penny. Okay, for starters, to be able to use this, you need to understand how the mouse works. There's a scroll wheel in the middle of the mouse. If you'll hold down the scroll wheel, it will allow you the orbit feature. Okay. On the left-hand side, there are all kinds of little icons for you to use or tools. The first thing I'm going to ask you to do is on the right-hand side, there's a little graduation cap on the right side tool. It's called Instructor. Turn that on. While you're learning to use SketchUp, every time you select a new tool, this instructor will give you a very, very brief explanation of how that tool works, and it will probably be very beneficial for you. I draw a lot of house plans, so this is where I'm going to start with today's instruction. So first of all, we're going to use the R or rectangle key. You can find it here on the left-hand side of your tool menu, or you can also use the hotkeys. I will mention the hotkeys several times throughout this video. The quicker you learn to use them, the more efficient you'll be with SketchUp. Most of the time when using a tool, you're going to click and release the left mouse button. Do not hold it down. There are some features where you hold it down. I'll discuss those as we get to them. Most of the time, you're going to click and release. When you click and release, it'll look like this. You want to make sure that you're on the blue axis, and then you can type in the dimensions that you want your box. Okay, you can see them on the lower right-hand screen. It will give you those dimensions. Here, we're just going to type in 20 feet, comma, 40 feet, enter, and it will automatically give you a box on the floor. At this point, we're going to learn what the push-pull feature does. We can find it here. Okay, push-pull feature or the letter P. Okay, to be able to do that, we're just going to click and release one time, and it should look like this when you move the mouse up and down. Once again, we can enter our own distance. You can see it on the bottom right-hand corner of the screen when I move it. Here we're going to type in 10 feet, enter, and it will automatically adjust that for us. Now we've got a box that is 20 by 40 by 10. Now we're going to put an overhang on that building. Using the space bar or the select tool, okay, that you'll find here, it's the arrow, we're going to select that top face. Then we're going to use a tool called the offset tool, which is all the way down here at the bottom. It's called on edge or offset. You want to left click one time and release on the edge you want to offset, and then it should look like this. We're going to type in those parameters. Here we want to put in, let's just say 16 inches. So we're going to type in 1/6, enter. Okay, we don't have to type in inches or feet. SketchUp Free automatically assumes that we're talking about inches. If you type in a numerical value, it's going to automatically go to inches. Once again, grab your selector tool or hit the space bar. Select this outside edge. Then we're going to do P for push and pull. Click and release one time. Pull it up. Type in a value of 6, enter for a 6-inch fascia board. Now you can orbit around and see that we've created a box or the 4 outside walls and a fascia board, and only in 3 minutes. We're doing good. Okay, now we need to put a roof on. The easiest way to do this, there are several ways. The easiest way to do this is to use your protractor. Okay, you click on these bottom 3 dots at the very bottom of your tool menu. Click on protractor. This is probably the toughest part of the drawing. Okay, because to use a protractor, you have to tell it not only where to start, but which angle you want to use. So if you notice, it's changing from blue to green as I'm moving it there. Okay, and if I were around the corner a little bit, it would actually turn to red, blue, and green. Okay, so if we look at head on, we want to be on the green axis. We're going to click and release one time to show it where to start. Which direction we're going to go to tell the protractor what 0 is. Click and release one time on the left mouse button. Then we're going to tell it we want it to go up, okay? And then we can enter the angle that we want. Notice at the bottom right hand of your screen, it shows the angle. We're going to very simply just type in 35, enter, and it gives you that angle. We're going to do the same thing to this other side. Starting at that upper corner, I would suggest zooming in with your scroll wheel, to make sure that you're on that green arrow. Click and release one time, then we're going to go left. Click and release one time, then go up, then type in 35, enter. Remember, if you do something wrong, this is that standard Windows function, so you can hold down Control Z to back up and start over. We're going to hold down the scroll wheel and rotate us over to the other side and do the same thing. Okay, click and release one time, go to your right, click and release on that edge, push it up, 35, enter. Do the same thing on the other side, click and release. To your left, click and release, up, 35, enter. Now we have 4 guidelines that we can use for our roof. We can come over here to the little pencil or hit the L button for line. And then we're going to very simply start on that endpoint, go up here to the intersection. You can see we're going to rotate to the other side and do the same thing. You can see we have 2 gabled ends. Now we're going to just simply use that same line tool and attach at the top. Okay. Now you can use the eraser or the E button and erase those guidelines. Okay, that is the easiest way for us to build a small little house. It's got a lot of work still to be done to it. We need to finish the overhangs. We need to add our windows and our doors. But really what I want to do in this video is to show you some of the key features of SketchUp and how it works. If you'll notice on the right-hand screen, there are also all kinds of different little outliners and different tools. Here's some materials that you can use, some color. So you can add color to your project. There are all kinds of different ways to draw your house and put shingles and that kind of sort on there. So hit me up, do a subscribe there, and look out for video number 2 where we'll be doing windows, doors, and a lot more. Thank you.